why does one ever spend any significant amount of time in a bank? Because you'll start waiting for something to happen.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Excuse me. Maybe I retain my voice for a little while here. Let's get going then. Matt, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure. Let's see. I scheduled a meeting for Friday morning, hopefully a Scrum like planning meeting for Redeemify. And I was hoping, Sam, you might be able to come either at the end or the beginning, or maybe.
Sure. Well, let me know the time.
Okay. Yeah. Well, noon Friday.
Your noon my time, or noon Friday. Yeah, in
or 12:30 if you want to join like halfway.
I think I have the local support client meeting then, but I'll see what I can do.
Okay. If not, maybe after that or something.
Sure.
Okay. And the only other thing was I did that small PR for website 1 to hopefully, I know not to take out the route for error. And the only other thing is I sent you a message. I noticed you deployed everything on website 1.
Yes.
And you got an error, right?
Yeah, I've been doing DevOps, and
okay.
I can explain everything when you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Okay. That's it for me. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thanks, Matt. Sam, how about yourself?
Yeah. So yeah, I've just been doing DevOps website 1. I've rolled out all the latest code from staging to master. That is deployed. There was a slight error when I ran the subscriptions migration because some of the subscriptions didn't have users associated with them. But I've gone in there and I've fixed that manually, and that's now under control. I've also run the migration that updates the GitHub thing, so we now have all the project page ordered by last updating GitHub. Although for some reason, I don't know, it's like the top one is async voter with a last update as of in December, and then it's visit meet with it in November. And
I didn't look carefully at that date. It might, I don't know when it gets updated, but
yeah, it's so it's kind of, yeah, it seems like these are lagging behind like the actual, like, because clearly I mean, I guess it depends. I don't know. Anyway, so that's kind of not, I think we've got an issue there immediately of we need to investigate why this seems to be lagging behind.
Right.
I think we could do with a space there as well. Anyway, yeah, so that's all deployed. Yeah, so I guess that is successful as a whole, and we need to keep on. There are more fixes, but maybe Matt, you could open a ticket specifically for this issue. Yeah, so I've done that. I have been continuing to follow up with Google on the AdWords thing. I had to reapply for the whole program using a different email address and like apply for a different blah, blah, blah. That's what my life consists of these days, is doing admin things and speaking to people on support help desks to work these things out. And then, yeah, so we all got that message about that the Hangout plugins will stop working. There is ambiguity about whether the buttons will stop working. On the YouTube support forums, the specialist, who's called Peggy there, who's not actually a Google employee, is saying the FAQ only seems to mention the plugins, but the deprecation warning is across the entire API, and the documentation for the buttons is also on the as part of that. So my Google Enterprise contacts, who are Google employees, at least some degree of regard, are saying, yes, everything will shut down, although they're just quoting the thing back at me, and I get the sense that the people who really know what's going on are not communicating with us directly. So who knows what will happen there. The DevOps conference kicks off today. I think the first talk is in about 5 hours. I guess my big action item now is I must record a draft of my talk. I find that if you try and give a talk with slides, you always encounter a series of issues that you need to fix the first time around. So it's absolutely critical to give a talk at least once, if not several times, before doing it your intended audience. So yeah, I think up next I will try and finish that. Yes, that is. Well, and we've got the marketing board, Trello board is up, and Marufa's put a series of comments and things in there which kind of need to be processed. I don't really have time for right this second. And there is the second marketing intern on the horizon, and Marufa seems willing to collaborate. So we are building the marketing team, and soon hopefully we will have a marketing budget from Google. That is my update.
Cool. Yeah, great. Thank you. All right. So for myself, can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, sure, just fine.
All right.
Oh, and suddenly we could hear you just fine, and then suddenly you've muted yourself.
Oh, yes. There we go. That helps. So yesterday I reviewed the DevOps presentation, made some comments there.
Many thanks for that.
Oh, no problem. And on MetPlus, I created a story for non-stubbed RSpec tests. I noted when I turned off stubbing or access to external services, I had a bunch of tests fail. So I've seen Arun already submitted a PR for that, which I'll look at later today. So that's good. That was quick action. And SHF, I delivered a story translating select2. It's a JavaScript message for selection fields, a JavaScript library. So if the user selected Swedish for the interface, then the messages emanated from that select2 packager in Swedish. It's nicely architected to accommodate that. On the visualizer, I missed a meeting. I guess there was a meeting yesterday, which I saw after the fact. But so I stood up the app, and that's about it. I looked at it. So I'm not sure what else is going on. I need to review the pivotal tracker board. Today I'll be working on MetPlus. I have a pair programming session with Sagu scheduled for about a little less than 2 hours from now. So we'll be going over some stuff there. I'm going to review Arun's PR that I mentioned for the fixes for the RSpec test. Probably merge that. And I'm going to create a MetPlus story for somebody to look at our database cleaning strategy for acceptance test. I think what we're doing is we're truncating everywhere, even where we could use transactions. So I think we're taking longer than we should. And I believe Semaphore cuts off, unless you're a paid client, it looks like Semaphore cuts off testing, the CI test run that exceeds an hour, from what I can tell. It looks like that's what's happening. And we're about at that point.
Oh, really?
So
your tests are taking an hour to run. Goodness me.
Yeah, I know. We're doing something wrong. So somebody needs to look at that. You said, I think, website one, you take about 20 minutes for your acceptance test?
10 minutes. Yeah, and I feel that's it's 10 minutes, and I feel it's very long. We take 2 minutes on local support.
Wow. Okay. Well,
for the cucumbers.
We got part of that story. Somebody had to look at what's going on with website one as well.
Yeah. Well, there is. Are you using Semaphore? What Raul did show me the other day is Semaphore has a feature that allows you to identify like the top 20 slow running tests, which I don't know if you've.
I saw that posting from him.
Yes, I now in retrospect don't know how to find it again. But it's there. That's certainly we've got that. Targets our hour where we will be looking to improve our test performance.
Okay, so website one about 10 minutes though. That's a metric we can look at and compare. I will make a note of that. Yeah,
I mean, I would say that in general that I mean the 10 minutes on website one is poor from my point of view. Like if ideally the queues are running in like you want your specs to run in like 30 seconds, like a minute, and you want if the queues are taking more than 2 or 3 minutes to run, what it means is you get into situations, as you're probably aware, where there's there's order dependency or what have you. If the cycle of the longer the cycle of your queues, the less and less likely it is that people are going to be able to run them all. It ends up being an ongoing bleed. So.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I've seen PR submitted where it's clear to me the cucumber tests were not run because this first thing I do is I run them and I see failures.
Right.
People are just doing that because it's just unreasonable to
Yeah,
expect.
and particularly on their lower resource boxes. Yeah, so this is the Cucumber Insights feature. So presumably we can get that for Met Plus.
Yeah.
I don't know what is the Met Plus. It's Met, which is the main repo that we should be looking at on the.
Oh, let's see. Where is that? It is. It's capital MET, capital P. Yeah, there you go. Met Plus. You got it.
I don't know that I necessarily have access to the semaphore. Let's see. Interesting. Can I go from the repo directly to the semaphore from here somehow? Is there, so semaphore, we've got the build status there. Okay, so it downcases it. So if we then go to /-2 there, insights, Cucumber. It's interesting. Insights show you which. Yeah. So anyway, it might be worth reaching out to Semaphore as to whether you can get. It's like that's the instructions there. Yeah, I think reaching out to Semaphore and asking them to enable that for your account.
Oh, is that what you have to do? You can't just do it yourself?
Well, I don't know actually. I mean, this is I see here. This is linking to Joao's thing, like the link to the there. Anyway, yeah. I mean, ideally that like so this build status here. I mean, that's linking to Joao's fork. I mean, is that where the latest production code is, or I mean, when I say production, I mean the latest edge. Is it actually on the Azure Ventures Met Plus repo?
It is. It's not your personal.
Yeah. So in that case, the link in the you know the link in the like ideally this still links to Joao's thing. So that's providing kind of outdated information. That should be these ones are linking to Azure Ventures, but this first one's linking to Joao. So that's something you might want to update in that README.
Can you see pull requests if you go to the top and maybe click on one of those and go to the bottom there and click on the.
Okay, we could go into
CI test. See what
Semaphore would go into there.
Yeah, see what we go there. Let's see.
So yeah, that's going go to Joao's again, which is kind of strange. I mean, maybe the account is sort of locked to his thing. Whether I presume that the code that's coming out of there, yeah, the code, right? It just happens to be okay.
It is our code. It's not Hela's personal repo that's getting exercised there.
Right, but somehow, yeah, it's the whole Semaphore account is linked in through his thing. So that might be something to investigate. Changing, but yeah, probably the first thing, separately from that, is just reach out to Semaphore and say, hey, we'd love to get these insights on the times of our test runs. The particularly nice thing I think about what they offer there is, like the website ones, is because they're running it all the time, you've actually got the average time taken over multiple runs, which would be difficult information to get locally.
Are those in minutes there? Minutes and seconds?
These are in seconds. So this
seconds.
These are our slowest. We have like 4 tests here that take, a minute to run each. So that's a good, you can see that like a very small number of our tests are taking up half of the average time. Like it runs in 10 minutes. So basically there's some kind of stuff going on with these tests that we should look at, that potentially we, if we sort those out, we could get our Cucumber test run down to 5 minutes, which would be a big improvement.
Yeah. And you're using, sorry. For your JavaScript tests, you're using Poltergeist, and otherwise you're using rack test, the standard stuff? Okay. Okay.
And you can also see the pass rates here, so we can see which are the intermittently failing ones as well.
Yeah, that's great. I'll look and see if I can turn. I have admin access to that account. See if I can turn it on myself. If not,
I think this is the docs here on the like setting up the Semaphore Insights thing. So
okay, great. Thanks for that.
Cool.
I will copy that. Anyway, good aside there. So, see, where was I? So that was MetPlus on SHF. I'm going to set up a team meeting, create an agenda beforehand. I think we've been going for about almost a week and a half without a team meeting. I think the person who's doing project management moved, actually changed to another country, in fact. So anyway, we need to talk. On WikiEd, I'll continue on the story that I've got going there. And I think that's about it for me. No blockers. So that's my update. And I guess that is the Scrum. So I don't need to connect anybody right now. Like I said, in about an hour and a half, I'll be connecting with Sigu. I don't know if you guys need to connect with anybody or on this.
Yeah, how are you doing, Matt? You all right?
Yeah, I think I'll just work on that sort order thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you dig into that,
that's what the way the data is. We're not that field might not be as usable as we thought.
Maybe so. Yeah, maybe on the GitHub interface that it's slightly out of date, or maybe that it's related to which branch. So it may be that we need to kind of like look up like the default branch for that thing, and then check the last updates on that default branch. So to speak. So
default branch. It might be like you have to update the name and the repo or something. That
maybe. I mean, have we got like? I mean, can we like very quickly go from the like what I would do immediately on this. I guess I was going to say. That just general. The other thing I was doing yesterday was working with Dree on their Dree push and so on, and pairing with them, and had my Dree meeting
for Redeemify.
Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was like a random extra update. Yeah, I mean, we're making progress on Dree push. I'm a little bit frustrated that they've got kind of one guy working on it. We need to move faster, but anyway. But so I mean, if I want to like, oh, share my screen, Matt. If I want to look here at the place where that data is being grabbed from, like, have we changed the like? Is there a service or a job? Like, there's the GitHub commits job. Where does it grab the? Oh, here we go. Project updated at. This is what it's. So when it does this.
Right.
Okay, so it goes from this GitHub URL for the project. So can we go from here, GitHub URL? Can we go like from here straight to in the like we would go on here? Can we go to the GitHub API, api.github.com, and just kind of go?
Doesn't it? Like, we use some different interface into the API, a gem.
We do, but like.
Okay, we might be able to
sidestep that and see what the raw data is that comes out.
Right.
So I got an example, api.github. It's like so there. So this is the data that we're coming back.
Oh yeah, it's down there somewhere.
Right. So somewhere in here, updated at. So this is the interesting. Look, this data here for Agile Ventures website 1 is telling me that the updated at is 2017 0118, right? Which sounds right. I've updated it today, right? So, but I just ran this job, and I don't know, maybe like it didn't run it for website 1 or what have you. But it looks here like the date is correct, right?
Yeah, but okay, I'll have to investigate it because maybe there's a bug in the gem or something. It's because
right. There's layers in between. Yeah.
It is a date from someone.
I mean, but this is what I'm saying. Like, this is in terms of analyzing the bug. The thing to me, as soon as I think about it, the critical thing is to analyze like the ends of the thing. Like, is the GitHub API producing the data that we expect? So having checked that, then we've isolated that the problem must exist somewhere in between that and what we're doing. So you're absolutely right. The gem might be at fault. It might be something else about the our code here, or it might be that it might be at the level of what's happening here. It might be at the level of what's happening.
Well, if you see that, it's pretty simple. It's just getting.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting that the problem is there. I'm more talking about the general. This is something that I'm often desperately trying to get across to the people in the boot camp and students coming out of the MOOC, is this process for isolating where the problem is. But so yeah, no, I mean, this all looks superficially, it looks fine. I mean, and then there's also, I ran this from a rake task. which is here, and I guess maybe though it's like an error. We've got like this was the output when I ran the task.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's going through, and occasionally it's got like somebody caused an error. That will not stop me, and then it looks like, you know, we've got like a commit update terminated for certain sorts of projects. I mean, what that feels to me is that maybe that a quick fit. I mean, there's the deeper thing into looking like the sequence of the way in which the rake task operates. So if we look at the rake task, and we go into, this is annoyingly, it's part of scheduler. We've got our commit. Right. So we've got this. There's some kind of looping thing here. There's some exceptions that are being encountered that may be causing this problem. But what I would like to do is to see, can we make website one have the correct thing? So if we look at update total commit count, this is so we've got run there. We can't actually run that directly for a product. I guess what I can do, this is doing, we've got extend self. So these are all, I wonder if I can like,
you can run it. Yeah, you can't run the one.
Well, but maybe I can send it the private method. I mean, I've got to get the project. It's got project with GitHub URL. I mean, I need to find there first. Let's do p equals project find by slug website one. There we go. So that gives us the GitHub URL, and that's the correct p. So then, so I do GitHub job send, and I can do p. What do we want to send it? Now we want to send it, update the total commit count for, and then pass it the argument, which is the p, and that needs to be a symbol. It's assuming that this setup that we have here, where it extends self, means that it turns it into a class method. Okay, so that now says true. So that seems like that worked. That says true. We can go back here, can run this. But yeah, as a website one, but interestingly there, website one is appearing with this date here. I mean, we've moved website one up in the sequence, but it's still showing like an 11/21 date.
Oh, strange.
So the way that we are, but so this is doing like client.contributors GitHub URL for the project. So there's a, where's it even getting? Is the client, okay, yeah, so we can kind of, I mean, so you can see here, I mean, this is where me having access to the production makes it much easier to debug. But so I think what we're getting here, like this is our, we're going in there and we're asking about the client contributors and not the, like just the repo itself. Like, so somehow, so what we're doing here, so again, we can push into this, and so we can send client to get the client back like that. So now I can ask of the client contributors. The GitHub URL gives us just that part of this Agile Ventures website one, and like true, and then per page 100 and so on, whatever. No, that's the wrong thing. So Control E, and then true, and then, I mean, just, I guess, just to do the same thing as there. Because this, no, it's coming from, I'm sorry, no, wait a second, I'm wrong. No, it's coming from project.
Right, I didn't modify it. That's the only line I put in, 24.
Right, but the project updated at here.
It doesn't mean there's not a bug in line 20.
No, it means, well, I think I can see pretty clearly there's a bug in line 24, because what this is doing, right, is projects here, like this entity, project, right?
Yeah.
Is this? It's the project like that exists on Agile Ventures website, right? It's the active record thing, and the updated at value in here is the last time that somebody edited this project, this entity in the project's table. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, and that's
Right. What it's
that's today, right?
no, but no. Well, that updated there 2017. It is, but that's
So
because yeah. Why is the last Git like here? Like if we do, so we've got p dot updated. I mean, the extremely strange thing here to me is that at no point are we actually taking the updated at value from the GitHub, from the information coming in from GitHub. Do you know what I mean? Like if I look at what this line does, it says set the last GitHub update to the last time my active record model was edited.
Oh.
Right. This is not asking the GitHub API, when were you last updated at? Right.
Right. It's the active record.
It's asking the active record, when were you last updated at? I mean, then we have a separate weirdness, which is like here, project ID 2. I mean, it created that, yeah, and then updated that is just there. I guess that may be because I think I know why that is because I just ran it, right? I just ran it here, and we changed the last GitHub update because I ran this for website 1. It changed it for website 1. Do you know what I mean?
The active record.
Yeah, the active record. When I changed the last GitHub update here to 2016, it then, because you know how this created that and updated that work, right? They're the timestamps for active record models.
Yeah, I guess it's confusing because it's also the timestamp returned by the API.
It's confusing in as much as, well, that's partly because
that's why
GitHub is written in Rails.
Yeah, I'm just trying to say why I got confused.
Yeah. So I think what we need to do, like here, we're doing this client contributors, and this is like then, like we're updating the total commit count for the project, like from, yeah, I didn't even know if this is the, but so what needs to happen here is the client, we need to ask the clients, we need to do that about the repo, right? So we need to ask client.repo. We do that, and then we need the URL, which is the like, is it just, yeah, project name. So it's like Agile Ventures /website 1. Do that. There's not a undefined local method, local variable method. Did I not just set? I thought I set client over here.
DB.
See, oh no, I called it C. I called it C. There we go. So, right, this is the way. Like, so if I do this, and then I say updated, I don't know if I can access it directly like this. This is the call that we should be doing here.
Right.
Specifically, I mean, and then to put it into our terms. That like if we had this code, I believe, I suspect, I don't know for sure, that then we would be pulling down the correct data from as from here. Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll just pop that. Ooh, broken it.
Yeah, pop that in the.
Let me pop that in the
Slack.
The website 1, and yeah, maybe you can slap in a pull request for that.
Yeah, real quick.
That's great. You may need to like this will. I mean you can then like argue about, should this actually be a separate, like basically we've got a kind of problem here with the code, in as much as this description of the method saying update total commit count 4, right, is becoming increasingly inaccurate. Like, although it's like before, originally the code was like this, right?
Yeah.
And so this described exactly what it did. It seems to me that we should have a separate method here that updates the updated at. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
And then there's less room for ambiguity, but I'll put that.
Yeah. Then it's the whole module is kind of named badly. It's
well, then there's layers and layers. Like the entire code
like
base is poorly named. But so I think all we can do is, in each case, we try and make our naming as good as possible, and then we try and, if there's a little bit of the other naming we can fix, and if we can carry on doing this for another 3, 4, 5 years, maybe we'll eventually transform the whole code base into something that's consistent and readable. But yes, the work goes on, as they say. Okay, but I'm glad that I was able to look at that with you, because I think my access to the production server.
Yeah, and I was going to mention it. It's probably be kind of hard, but systems I've worked on before, I can usually copy down the. They usually copy down the data, production data somehow.
Yeah, well, we could get you the production data locally on your machine. That's something that I do. Yeah, I'm
everybody. There's.
I would potentially give you. We've given you production to the developed machine. I would give you production to the access to the production machine. It's just that with great power comes great responsibility.
No, I don't want that. I would want something.
Yeah,
what I would, you could easily copy it down and take out the private stuff. And
yeah, that's right. I mean, another issue that we have with website 1 is that, what we manage on local support is that we copy the production database onto staging, and then we can do more sensible tests there. On website 1, because we have to pay for a larger database on production, we're not paying for the larger database on staging, and so the staging database is kind of out of date, and so we sort of end up in this position. I'm kind of torn between, okay, well, let's pay for the bigger database on staging to make our DevOps flow better, versus we're going to try and migrate the whole thing to DRE and not pay as much. And I don't know. There are so many different things to do, and I'm just sort of torn between them all.
Well, a good friend of mine just joined, Scott Maxwell, and he's a database guy.
Oh, is he a friend of yours? Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine. So I talk to him a lot. So.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah.
You might want to do something like that. He was going to look at edX too. WikiEd.
Yeah, great stuff. I think the more people we can get in, the better. That's sort of my last great hope for salvation is now this Google AdWords thing that's you put in if they give us the budget that they imply that they will, when you go in through Google AdWords, it tells you how, for given words that you associate with, how many people will see your ad and how many people might click through on it. And it's based on the budget they've given us. It's what's the word? 83,000 people a month would see a link to Agile Ventures appearing in their search results, and 1,000 or so people would click through. So an extra 1,000 click-throughs a month would be a huge boost for us. I think we'll see if we can get that. Great. Well, sorry, I hope you weren't caught there, Pat, feeling, oh gosh, I wish this guy would shut up and move on. Thanks for capturing that for the recording.
Actually, I just have one question. For that created at field coming back from the GitHub API regarding the project, what does that represent? I meant updated at. What changes changed that timestamp?
Well, I believe that almost anything would. It's potentially making a change to the wiki and so on.
Ideally, I would test this against staging, right? I can't do it, right?
Well, you can, independently of staging or having the real data or whatever, you can be testing this, like the way in which I tested it here from the command line. I happen to be Rails consoled into the production server, but you can run the Rails console locally on your machine and feed, handcrafted URL components in there and check that you're getting exactly the right data.
Yeah, it's just very time consuming.
Well,
I'd have to set up all the projects I want to look at.
No. I mean, like, you wouldn't, right? Like,
I'd have to have, because I did it.
Right, but you wouldn't, because you can. I mean, do you see what I'm saying? Like here, assuming that I've got the client, I don't have to add the project and the GitHub URL. I mean, to ultimately test those explicit, like if you wanted to, like the change that we were just proposing here, right? Yeah, if you wanted to have it so that it's like taking a project entity and looking up the GitHub URL and so on and everything, yes, but actually, to just hit, like you see here, like in order to run this bit of code, I didn't need to create the project. I just fed in this string.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so
it's not a complete test. Like if I had the data copied down, I could.
Right.
Do it end to end.
Yeah, you could do a manual test end to end, but I mean, you don't need
I could fire off that update and see it go out to get.
Right. But you don't need all of the projects. You just need one of them that's actually an active one. So if you just set up that single project locally.
Yeah, but like Pat's saying, we don't know exactly how that updated that. So it'd be more interesting to get more than one.
Well, or not. I mean, to be honest, well, yeah, that's interesting to look at. But I would say that you could create a test like on here, like if the thing to explore what that was, apart from the documentation might say it, right, is you could just be, if you really wanted to play around and discover, you could take a test repo. You don't even need to be doing the Rails console. You could be just hitting this here for for this like test app, and then you could be
website one's actually on my repo.
Yeah, right. And then you could basically experiment with editing the wiki and then hitting refresh and seeing if it changed or not. And then, okay, so the wiki doesn't work. Or what about if I commit it, or if I change the name of the project and then find out? But
that makes total sense to me. But that's also time consuming. I mean, I could quickly.
Yeah. I mean, I think it would take all of like 2 or 3 minutes, right?
No, you're talking about like modifying different things and seeing when.
Yeah, well, I mean,
that's.
I mean, I could do it now, and it would take me like 2 or 3 minutes, right? With the
you can't modify every different type of.
Well, no, but the thing is, we don't necessarily have to get to the bottom of exactly why it works. I mean,
commit is the interesting one.
Say again?
That's kind of what we're looking for.
What is?
If you add a commit to a repo, we want that last updated to increment to today.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, so that's the one case I'd want to try. Yeah.
Right. So you could go and try that now, and it would take you a minute or two, right?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, cool. But so the other thing, what we might do though, is the other approach to that is to go and look at the GitHub API documentation for the repo operation. So it's this one there.
Yeah, I looked at it. It doesn't say much. It just says last time the repo was up.
Here we go. Yeah, the
right.
That.
So I don't think it's
okay. So there's not in there, but yeah. I mean, although coming back to the original ticket, I mean, there's an extent to which, whether this represents a commit or just an edit of the thing. Yeah, I guess if the commits are not in there, then it's kind of a shame. But
that would be kind of bad if it doesn't show.
Yeah,
because that's what we're implying that we're checking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. The should we just check this? Well, I guess I can leave you to.
Yeah. Or put website one on there, Matt Lindsay /website one, and I'll add a command.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that now. Yeah. So you got a fork of the.
Oh.
What's is that your right?
Yeah, I think so.
MATTLINDSEY website one.
Okay. Could be.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have website one. Did you just fork it?
Oh, I'm a collaborator on the repo.
Right.
But the word
I thought I saw it in the overview, Sam. It wasn't on the overview?
I mean, you've got like a open source.
Mila, the word Milarepa, Milarepa.
Go Milarepa, Milarepa.
Yeah, that's a site that
Okay, so we've got that site.
so I can add in a commit if you want after.
Yeah, well, push it now because I've got it up. So that's saying at the moment that the last updated at was 2016-10-28.
Yeah, and let me just edit the README.
Just edit the README directly and save it.
Yes. Sorry. Why isn't it on the initial page? Oh, there it is. Okay, edited, commit. Okay.
Yeah, so that's now okay. So the updated at hasn't changed, but it's pushed at has changed.
Oh,
So that's probably what we want to do, what we want to hit.
push that.
So I can go back to here and yeah, so we can get a pushed at versus updated at.
So does that make sense, you think? Push that?
I think probably. I mean, I guess if it's the case that updated at, it probably, that sounds like the updated at, a bit like our own system, that will only change when the metadata associated with the project changes. But really, we're like, in terms of promoting projects that are frequently like pushing code, I think we probably want to be pushed at rather than updated at.
Right.
So great question, Pat, and well done us for quickly identifying the difference between those two things.
Yay!
Right.
I'll do that.
Cool. Nice one. All right. Well, I'll catch up with you guys later. Just shout out if you need any extra help or support, Matt.
Great. Thanks.
Cool. Bye for now.
Thanks, guys. Bye now.
Bye.